We are going to speak today with an eyewitness, maybe I should say the eyewitness, to this tragic event, which was a rumble out there in Kansas City, Missouri, between IUIC and ISUPK. Not only are we going to do that, after we talk to this gentleman, I'm going to open it up and let you call in. So I'm going to talk to him first, and then I'm going to open it up and let you share your perspective and your opinion on this IUIC, SAC, and ISUPK. Camp members are also welcome to call in, not just Christians. You know how we do. It's a fair platform. Everyone knows where I stand, but I will be fair and treat you with respect, honesty, dignity, and love. Unless you get crazy. But hopefully it don't happen tonight, because God is good. All right, well, let's start this. I'm ready if you're ready. Thank you.
How many roads? Too many signs, I can't read them. Wouldn't recognize the turn even if I seen it. Been driving all along, feel like I'm dreaming. Okay.
What's up? How y'all doing? You recognize me? Do you recognize the man beside me? Pastor Leonard the Watchman, welcome to Street Apologists Live. Thank you very much for taking your time to be here. Let me give you something you deserve. A round of applause.
Bless you.
You minister out in Kansas City week in, week out. Tell people about that, please.
Well, I'm a minister here. I'm a pastor of Disciples of Christ Ministries here in Kansas City, where we come to educate, empower, equip, edify the men and women of God. We do it. We do an outreach ministry where we go out to the street and we minister to the people. And as me being a watchman, I have to stay vigilant and stay on the wall. Amen. Because God's people are in danger in these last days.
Amen. That's exactly right. And you're a watchman just like Ezekiel. And that means you're out there on the front line because you're seeing what is needed to be seen, but before the rest of the city might see it. That's what a watchman does.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what you did Saturday. Now, why were you out and about Saturday on, what was it, 99th in Prospect?
31st in Prospect.
My bad. Why did I say that? 31st in Prospect. Why were you out and about on 31st in Prospect Saturday?
Well, earlier that day, I was street ministering down a few blocks down, right. And usually I go up to the corner up there when ISUPK is up there, and I confront them, or three of us go and confront them on a regular basis. Myself, Pastor Holloway, and Pastor Samuel Latimer. We here in Kansas City, we go up and confront them and talk to them. Right. I was going up there to see what was going on because earlier I drove past the ISIC was up there with them. The Purple Power Rangers was up there.
Yeah, that's IUIC, Israel United in Christ. You got it.
Yes. And when I went up there for to see if they were still there, just to drive past, I saw both groups up there, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Right.
This isn't gonna end up well. So I decided to get out my car and go pay them a visit.
Okay. All right. And you did. And how long had you been out there, before you started filming? Because it seemed like pretty quick. It's pretty instantaneous almost, as far as the way the live footage looks.
Well, I had started immediately when I got there. Okay. I was there about a couple of minutes because when I started, I had just got out my car and I said, let me go ahead and go live with this here because, like I said, this is gonna be fun. I was just gonna have fun with those guys. I was going to go listen to them argue because when I got the car, they were like in each other's face when I got out the car. So I'm like, wow, this is going to be exciting. So let me go ahead and go live just in case somebody want to come against me.
Right, but you didn't know it was going to get as bad as it got. You thought it was going to be, I think, them just arguing type of thing, but it turned into something else.
Absolutely. See, so even the heading of my video, it just says Israelite fight.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting a literal fight. I thought they were going to just argue with each other for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, your timing was just, it couldn't have been better because it almost seemed like it was like they started fighting on cue. Because, you see them verbally jousting, and then very shortly it turned into something way worse. What was it like being out there on that corner? We're going to show some footage, but tell me, like, you're in the midst of that. What is that like, man?
It felt normal to me because, like I said, I deal with those guys on a regular basis, but I knew they wasn't going to come after me because now the ISUPK now they had a rival now. They had somebody that they didn't like worse than Christians.
Right.
So even though they tried to come after me in the first 35 seconds of the footage, they immediately went back to the nemesis. So I felt very comfortable there at that moment.
What's the response of the crowd when they, first of all, see these two Hebrew Israelite groups arguing with each other, then fighting with each other, then the cops are there? What is the crowd? What's the public's perspective? What vibe did you get about that?
Well, when I first pulled up, and I saw this going on, I was looking. I was like, okay, now let me look around. So I started surveying the land, and then through my as I'm watching the people, they're looking more confused of what's going on because they're looking at these guys. They're saying similar things to them, trying to get them to listen to them, but now they're talking against each other and using profanity against each other. They're looking confused. And then when the fight broke out, they was like totally lost because they're looking at it like, wow, these guys are supposed to be together. They thought they were together, but now they're fighting. So it started. They were more confused because at that particular corner of the city, there are a lot of people that is, and I want to say this respectfully, they have mental issues.
You're talking about the Hebrew Israelites now.
No, just
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
them too. Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. That's just a joke.
Yes, but they wasn't, and they was praying. They prey on people like that, as you know.
Yeah. You got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Just like those predators, those lions. What do they look for? Those weak and sick gazelles. Those slow gazelles. Yeah, that's who they go after. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, brother.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So I mean, you're there. You're filming this. Yeah. Did you realize the significance of what was happening? Because there's nothing's ever happened like this, like at this level. Now there's been similar stuff. I know someone's going to be like, "Oh, don't worry, we're going to get into that." But this is like a pretty big thing.
I really didn't. I be honest with you, I was just there to have fun, to watch these guys go at it. Because I'm looking like this here. Even though they're out there, they're saying sort of the same things, but different. And I want people to see that how different these guys are, but similar.
Right.
And as the people saw that, I was like, okay, now I wasn't planning on being that long either. I plan to be out there for a few minutes and go because I had some other duties to do within the community. So I was like, let me go ahead, just hang out for a little bit just to see. But it was it was crazy, as you can see. It was crazy.
Well, I want to thank you, Pastor Leonard, because if you weren't there, I mean, I do believe it was the Lord leading you, guiding you, directing you with everything that happened. Because if you weren't there, I don't know how we would know the truth. Because you were there filming, prompted to do so, we can cut through their lies or their spin or their editing or anything like that. It's all there raw for people to see. And everybody, my take on this, and I talked to Pastor Leonard prior to this, it's not about, oh, look, I mean, there's a little bit of humor in this, obviously you could tell. But guys, this is spiritual warfare, ultimately. And, what you're seeing is the flesh fighting the flesh, if you want to put it that way. And this has been going on with Hebrew Israelism ever since it started. A lot of these false religious groups often, before Christianity and apologists even get a chance to deal with them, a lot of times they destroy themselves. And what I mean by that, they fall down because of their own internal fighting. Now, I think it's best when you're talking about bad ideas like this. 2 Corinthians 10:3-5 says we tear down those strongholds. So they're fighting, and we are also pulling down the ideas through the power of God. But let me tell you guys this also. This exposes what's really there. Remember, we were on the phone and you said, I want people to see that everything that glitters isn't gold. Wait, was that you who said it, right? I thought you. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So I've been talking to so many people today about this going on. I remember you said that. I was like, that's good. That's right. Because see, people can see, oh, this isn't the answer for the community. I mean, the only time I've seen the Christian church fight like this, and we know there's plenty of problems in our churches. We know that. The only time I've seen this was in a movie, Fighting Temptations.
Fighting Temptations, yeah.
Yeah, where they had a choir scene. They're just going crazy on it, right? I mean, but this is real life. So, I mean, what's your thought of what you hope comes out of this as far as how the Lord could use this? Because it's obviously a negative thing. Praise God, no one was seriously injured. But what's your hope about how the Lord could use it? Because you're instrumental as a watchman right there. You know, we owe the footage to you. So everybody, he is the source of the footage. I want everyone to know. So why wanted you to be there? If you saw a clip today, you would not have seen it if he wasn't there. And I honestly think it was the Lord telling him, do it now, because he didn't know they were going to start fighting. How could he predict that? He was live. And yet he titled it everything. So I want to, what's your thoughts, hopes, going forward with this and your involvement, what it means for Kansas City? I just want to hear your heart on that.
Oh, really? What has happened thus far? It's a plus and a minus.
Okay.
Today, let me go back. Today, I did my service up there. I took my church and we did our service on the street up there today, and we started to set up in front of the library where the fight took place. Well, the security guard came out and
Buford.
said,
It's called Buford, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so you're in front of Buford today to praise and worship, and what happens?
Yes. We took our entire service out there. We did a praise and worship, preaching, everything. We shut the building down and went to the street. And security guard came out and said, the higher up said that no one can no longer be in front of the library doing preaching or speaking anymore. Well, that's a plus because they won't be there either.
Right.
That is that particular corner, what we call here in Kansas City, is the heart of the lion's den.
Okay.
A lot of activity, a lot of negative activity, a lot of criminal activity happens within a 3 or 4 block ratio of Prospect, and this is one way of getting rid of a cancer that was in the community that was leading the people astray. And I'm believing that is going to start to heal the community in a way that is unprecedented, because this is just the beginning. And like you said, the Holy Spirit led me up there yesterday. I wasn't planning on stopping. I wasn't planning on doing anything but going up there. I mean, just driving past and going. But the Holy Spirit said, stop, go over there and just don't go, just stop and record this. I'm like, okay.
Right.
I followed the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, well, again, I'm glad you did. Let's look at some of this footage with you for a little bit, if that's fine with you, and see,
Sure.
And you can give some commentary on it here. Now, I've clipped it up, so not all of it. Is this going to be out of order? Let me see here, because I got little sections here and there, because it's like 45 minutes, of course, and so I don't have all that. But let's see what I got here that we can show first. Okay. Let's see here. I think this is when you first came on the scene. I think this is the first clip. Okay. It's let me see. Let me fix this host plus pick plus guest, host plus. Hold on, just give me one host plus web plus guest. All right, let me host, but I gotta play with some buttons here. Okay, this should work. Let me see if this will work. Let me play the video like this. All right. Now I hope YouTube doesn't take this down because of this, because they don't like this kind of footage, and so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this later. But let's find out. Let's see if we will be able to see it later. I hope that we will. Man, I'm having a little technical difficulty, people. Just a second. You still see me, right? You can still hear me?
I see your computer screen.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. Okay, man. Just a second. I'm sorry about this. This is had to throw this show together kind of at the last second here, because.
How about that? Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave.
Hey, do you see that Camaro? When you was out there, Pastor, do you see that? Oh, okay. Yeah, did you see that Camaro?
I did.
Yeah, that was nice, man. I stopped watching the squad for a second and started watching that Camaro. But here, let's do this again. So that's that. You're cracking me up right here in this video. Let me tell you. But here, watch this again, and I mean, there's like all kinds of crazy sounds. You hear stuff and getting knocked over and everything. I mean, it's literally like a Royal Rumble. Man, I'm glad you're okay. Okay, let's watch this. Shout out to the ISUPK. And anytime you want me to stop, Pastor, tell me and give comment if you want to. But I'm going to play it and see.
Israelite against Israelite. Check it out.
What's say about that? Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave.
So, let's just pause right in there. All about a chair?
Yes. It was, well, actually, it wasn't about a chair. If you notice throughout the footage, they had their speaker turned toward the ISUPK UK guys. And that was intimidating to them. And they're kind of like territorial. And more or less the chair was like the boundary line.
Okay. So, hey, he had moved his neighbor's boundary marker like in the Old Testament says don't. Okay. If they would just follow the law, if they would just follow the Old Testament law like they say, this wouldn't have happened. He moved that boundary marker.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
So this chair, he's trying to convert a chair.
Trying to convert the chair, yeah.
I see you, by the way, Pastor Sam. I'm just rolling through. Is Pastor Sam a friend of yours? Yes,
he's one of the other, him, Pastor Sam, and Pastor Holloway. We three go around here. Three of the ones here that's.
Okay, he's on. Pastor Sam, I need you to turn down your volume, though, because we'll get feedback. You might need to use headphones or something like that. Okay, we got Pastor Sam. So he's another one of the brothers there with Pastor Leonard. All right, we're going to watch this footage together now.
Israelite against Israelite. Check it out.
What's say about that? Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave.
Okay, so who's really at fault here? Because he just grabs a chair. Now, he does push him, but he pushes him back. It's hard to tell. I mean, to me, oh, man, this is crazy. Okay, here we go.
Israelite against Israelite.
What, you about to say something, brother?
What had happened was when the Power Ranger touched the chair, the other guy pushed the speaker.
Oh, I didn't really see that.
Yeah, he pushed the speaker, and then that's when he got pushed because he pushed the speaker.
Oh, okay. So chair, speaker, then okay. It's
altercation.
Okay,
yes.
It's like I remember people would get these bumper stickers. It would say, "You touch on my truck, I break your face." It was you touch on my speaker, I break your face. Okay, here we go.
What's say about that? Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave.
I watch those videos of abusive cops, I swear these guys sound just like them. All he needs is a racial slur. You better not move.
Right.
You better not move. Bro, go ahead, though.
I was on Clubhouse earlier tonight, and there were some former Israelites talking about that, saying that these guys are trained by police. These are police in takedown tactics.
Yeah, I mean, it looks just like it.
Yeah.
So just from background, Bishop, quotation marks, Nathaniel, the leader of this Israel United in Christ, he's a former NYPD detective.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's the leader of this organization. That's about 10,000 members strong, largest One West Hebrew Israelite group there is. He is a former NYPD detective, and so it's obvious he's trained them. I mean, it's crazy. You got glasses and cell phones everywhere, talking about you better not move. I mean, what's he gonna do if he moves? I mean, my goodness.
Police tactics, y'all learned this from the police squad.
You got the police squad, but there you can see it right there, Lucille H. Buford Branch. So they're gonna have to find a new spot to harass people because I don't think the library is gonna put up with it anymore. Yeah.
No, they won't.
Y'all learned this from the police squad. Y'all the SWAT team. Y'all the IUIC SWAT team. Huh? What the fuck are y'all niggas even holding us? Like, why y'all touching us? Why y'all touching us?
So, who did you see call the cops? Did you see anyone?
No, immediately it was like IUIC. Immediately. I mean, they didn't have those guys subdued yet, fully subdued, and they were calling the cops. Calling the police immediately. It's almost like it was planned.
Folks talk about, not everyone understands the slang, but they talk about being on code, off code. Man, these guys are all the way off code, in my view. Someone's going to get upset that I mentioned that, but I mean, come on, man. Like, and you're supposed to be part of the same religion, too.
Supposed to be.
Like, now, I hope it doesn't escalate, but when you study some of the stuff that happened in the 60s with the Nation of Islam, it gets real dicey. I'm not saying the government didn't encourage it and enable and all kinds of things they did, but the NOI definitely helped them out. To a certain extent, from my understanding, to a certain extent, same thing with the Black Panther Party. These guys are going to, it's like they're reliving the history of those things or something with this foolishness. All right, let's watch this.
You kind of be a little bit concerned about the secondary or third party persons who are sympathetic to either side that are not a part of either camp that want violence. Because I was threatened earlier today myself because I asked which was this, the Northern Kingdom or the Southern Kingdom, which one was which, and they didn't like that. They thought that was a little flippant towards the incident, but so little guys talking about if I was in person, how he would hit me in the mouth and all of this other stuff. So I would be concerned about, third party people who don't like the fact that Watchmen recorded it, and they don't like the fact that I edited a different version I put out there with the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger music under it.
Oh, really? I want to see this.
Oh,
you gotta send me the link. We'll let people see that. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know about that. It's funny. I got people complaining. Why are these guys talking to vocab? He's not black. First of all, I called the pastor. He didn't seek me out. I called him and asked him graciously to give his time. And I'm glad that Pastor Sam is so we got everybody here. I'm glad for that. But, it's funny. The Hebrew Israelites in there complaining about 3 Christians talking to each other about you guys' foolishness to the Hebrew Israelites in the... Why aren't you complaining about IUIC?
You're not black? They said you're not black? That's what's in the chat? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. So if you guys are complaining, why aren't you complaining about IUIC calling the police? I'm saying that's what they should be complaining about, not about... So, yeah, let's listen to this. Here we go. Everyone watch this. IUIC is literally assisting the cops in handcuffing ISUPK. Am I wrong? Go ahead.
Yes, but check this out. Before they're handcuffing him, you see the police walking around while the ICIU was holding him down still.
Yeah, they're almost like, you guys got this situation under control.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. It's like the JV cops. Wave 1.
Exactly.
So the cops are walking around surveying the situation while IUIC is holding them down for the cops?
Absolutely.
What is this? I don't know what planet.
And with this clip that you have up here, it tells us now these two groups was in an altercation, but now one group is assisting in the handcuffing of another. That's not normal either.
That's
not normal either.
I mean, it's like, imagine the Bloods and the Crips had a fist fight on the street, and the Bloods are holding down the Crips, and when the cops come, they're basically like, good work, fellas, good work, fellas, and they hold them down and help them cuff them.
Yeah,
like.
Bro, putting them on the ground. It's police, bro. Back up, baby, please. No, why they putting them on the ground? They getting him out. The police in now. They got it. Why they putting them on the ground? They had a black against black fight.
Hey, was that you said that?
No, that was a friend of mine. He showed up. He thought that I was in trouble, in danger, so he came. He saw we were watching it live, so he came up to try to like protect me, But
okay. That was good. Hey, I'm glad you got some guardian angels out there, brother.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good to hear. And
now,
his commentary is funny though. What he was saying, he's funny. But go
now,
ahead.
3 weeks ago, I was dealing with the ISUPK. That they came to my sense that day.
Wow,
and that's out there. That's out there too.
I want to see that as well. Dinu with the classic zing of the night. She says IUIC assisted in putting ISUPK in captivity because these guys always say they're in captivity. Dinu, you in captivity by these guys. This is wild, man.
That's not the police doing that. I saw it. They went over and messed with it over a chair or something, man. That's crazy.
Who was that? Who knew about the chair? Was that your friend too?
Yes, that was him. He's standing right beside me.
Okay. His commentary is funny. He's got to comment on all the videos.
Yeah, they about to leave, and y'all grab their chair. Y'all start fighting over a chair, man. Over a chair, man.
They could have just left.
And y'all trying to teach us something.
They could have just left.
How y'all trying to teach?
This is crazy. And hey, the ISUPK guy on the ground has a good point. They could have just left.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their pride. They gotta do this. And they threaten each other. These Hebrew Israelites, they threaten each other. They threaten us as Christians all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that Christians, we operate in love. We don't operate in the flesh like them. And so they kind of take advantage of that a lot of times. But when you're dealing with all these Hebrew Israelite groups, well, they're all on that same wavelength of the flesh. And so they're going to fight each other because they turn their vitriol towards each other as well. I mean, do you even know what they were arguing about? Do you even, what were they? Could you tell what they were saying? Because you said they were talking bad about each other on the mic. Could you get a sense of what they were even saying?
Yes, they were talking about the truths behind each camp, the scandals and the truths behind each camp, and I believe that's where really stirred up because they kept, they're talking about the UPK was talking about how the ICU was Nathaniel, how he was doing things, with homosexuals and transgenders.
Hold on, yeah. Well, let me tell you what it is. So it wasn't Nathaniel. I don't know what UPK. I don't know what UPK was saying, but I'll tell you, Nathaniel's camp, IUIC, they had a situation where someone who is either recently a member or former member or a member in bad standing, something like that, down there in, I think, Gainesville, Florida. And this member or former member, I'm not sure on his status at the time, but associated with IUIC, there's pictures of him with IUIC shirts on. He apparently tried to have a date with a woman of the night, but apparently it wasn't a woman of the night. And apparently this person was disturbed by that fact, however it was discovered, and shot this person in the face. And so they were reading that news story, because I did hear they were reading it, which is, it's kind of humorous. They were reading that news story the way they read the Bible when they read the scriptures. Give me Deuteronomy 28 again. They were reading the news story like that. You notice that? There's a news story.
Yeah, they were.
He was reading it like the way they read their stuff. It's like they have, it's like those cars, you know, they got one speed, right? They know one way to read stuff in public. So he's reading that news story, and that's what it was. So, you know, they were scandalized by that. Of course. All right, let's watch this. We got some of this. This is like a 3-minute clip I have cut out. The footage, everybody, is 45 minutes. Pastor was there 45 minutes. His dinner was cold by the time he got home, you know?
Y'all ain't did nothing wrong. They could have just left. Y'all ain't did y'all see that shit? Come on, man. Y'all guys people.
I know. He needs to chill out.
Y'all guys.
Man, what they do wrong? I want to know what they did wrong.
It's a camera.
Yeah, y'all get on that side, because they handcuffing these guys. Y'all messed over these guys, so y'all not getting handcuffed. So, yeah, they getting handcuffed, and they was just trying to get their chair. They was trying to get their chair, and they getting handcuffed.
I'm glad he's there calling out IUIC that way, you know? I'm glad.
Yeah.
So, Pastor Sam, what's your interaction with these groups? Because it sounds like you guys do stuff together. You're muted right now, brother. You got to unmute yourself.
Well, see, I am a antagonist.
Oh, well, once you told me that story about the Power Ranger music, I kind of picked that up.
Man, it's on my page, Pastor Sam, on YouTube. It's right there. It's like 6 minutes of the clip, with the Power Ranger music under. I don't like the ideology. It is a parasitical ideology.
Yes, it
that
is.
has attached itself to Judaism and the doctrine of the true grace of God.
Amen.
And as a minister and steward of the mysteries of God, I stand against them. I tell them as much as I possibly can, you are not, 99.9%, you are not an Israelite. And I told them Friday night before this incident happened, I said, y'all are some from 35th Street. That's what you are. And so what they did was vindicate me. They vindicated me yesterday and proved exactly what I said. And I don't hate them.
Right.
Because what they are is what I am. I am a product of the neighborhood. I've always been in the neighborhood. But I think part of the challenge that we face in our community concerning these individuals is that we have a lot of broken homes. We have wounded and boys who find community in groups like these. And the problem is that unlike other groups, they have taken the Bible and twisted it in order to create their community and an identity that is not necessary if they would actually just read the Bible like it is written. The grace of God has provided. Even if you want to be Israelite. So Brother McKenzie and I, we go out and we try and minister in that stead across from them. We have a couple of videos out there where we've been there together. I wasn't there. This started up that way, but I was led a different way, and Brother Watchman caught it. You asked a question. What's the outcome? What we want for an outcome?
Right.
I hope that this causes someone to see that it's not important that you are an Israelite, but that if you recognize the message of the gospel that you are a sinner, you repent and come to Christ. That's what I hope for.
Amen. And that's what I hope happens out of this too. Well, I'm glad you guys are on the front lines. Let's finish this. Let me see. We got like 50 seconds left, I think, of this clip.
Yeah, it's on camera, bro. They assaulted these people when they about to go. Yeah, they oh my goodness. They walking away. They the ones.
So they just tried to flee the scene after this?
That was it. Yeah.
This is crazy, man. It's like, well, our job is done here. We put our fellow Israelites in chains. See you later.
Yeah, they did try to leave at first, because as soon as the police handcuffed them, they started getting their little their duck roll, and the mother duck was about to lead them off.
Quack quack, yeah, quack 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 quack, yeah. No, I know
the police said, "Wait a minute, now you guys can't leave just yet. Hold on a second." So they took a statement from them, but it's like then they just let them walk away. I'm like, just gonna let them walk away? That's okay. That's how y'all do things. Okay.
Did they just cuff UPK, or do you know if did they throw him in the car?
No, they let him go.
Okay, because I'm not a fan of Hebrews like ideology, and if you did something wrong, okay, you need to go. But if you're out there, getting cop restrained by these guys, I don't want you. I don't want them to go to be incarcerated for that. So at least they didn't oh my goodness. But IUIC wouldn't even care. This is like, all right, our work is done here. We got to go watch Nate on the TV. See you later.
Well, see, it was the IUIC actually should not have been on that.
Yeah, that's not their corner, right? That's not their normal corner, right?
Yeah, just to be fair about it, that is, if we want to, say it's somebody's corner, somebody who's there as a regular,
ISUPK.
That group.
Yeah.
That's their corner, right? So the other group really came to get what happened. They actually, to me,
right,
if you about it, they could have went down to another corner. We got a whole lot of corners in Kansas City, just in case y'all want. And they provoked them in a way, right?
So let me ask, hey, if you're an IUIC fanboy or fangirl, because I know they watch the IUIC fanboys and fangirls, what was the reason your leadership decided they needed to go to the one corner where another Hebrew Israelite group already was that day? This is how because there's no good reason other than the flesh, ego, pride, infighting, man-centeredness. That's the way you know what your religion's about. Because it's not just about waking up the Israelites, like you guys always say. It's about growing your ranks in numbers and pissing on the other groups. And that's what this shows it. Because they were there. And because you attested that, Pastor, because you said, I usually go back and forth with ISUPK. And it's not like they're, from what you said, it's not like they're, nice guys really or anything. We don't hate them, but the religion's got them all twisted up, so they act that way. But that's where they always are. And now IUIC shows up.
I interact with Captain Goodall.
Oh, so you know his name and everything. Okay.
Yeah. We chop it up all the time. We don't get along. We get along, but we into, so it's when we're there that we're gonna attack. A little disruptive because I was trying to disrupt their message, and we talk back and forth at each other, but they never threatened or anything like that. So they never even cussed me out or anything like that.
Okay.
So it like I said, other group just from the standpoint they probably shouldn't have been on that corner to begin with.
Right. Mods, please time out Hebrew apologetics. Hebrew apologetics, stay on topic. You're not in here to do that. Hebrew apologetics, stay on topic, add to the conversation, or see your way out. Okay, so let's play a little bit of the rest of this. So they try to walk away, but it looks like the cops stop and question them.
Jumped on them. They jumped on them, bro. Yeah.
They were up here just communicating. They was up here going back and forth in words. Then it broke out into a physical altercation. But it ended up being an Israelite fight. They physically had a fight with each other, had to call the police, and I had nothing to do with it. I was just here to film.
What was that? I had nothing to do with it.
That's only because they we go round and round every now and again, and I'll just let them know that this time I had nothing to do with it. Other times maybe, but this time I didn't.
I don't know. When I watched this video, I was like, this guy is funny. I had nothing to do with it. Yeah, you know,
Now,
I love Kansas
serious
City
note,
people. You got that KC vibe. But go ahead, bro.
On a serious note, the ICIU purposely
IUIC.
did this.
Oh, yeah.
IUIC. They purposely did this. Let me tell you why. They was on that corner months ago first.
Mm-hmm.
But they were in the place where the ISUPK was,
Mm-hmm.
in that particular spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here recently, the ISUPK had been in that spot for about a month or so, a little bit longer now. So now the IUIC come to set up just a little bit down from where they were, knowing they would be there at that time, because they were there every Saturday at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
They knew they were going to be there at that time, so they left their spot open, knowing that they're going to take their spot, and be right beside them.
Right.
Because, like I said, ISUPK wasn't there yet. First, it was IUIC there in the beginning, first part of the day.
It'd be interesting. Hey, so people got jokes. Look at this. People were saying the IUIC stands for Israel United in Chair. It's United in Chair, bro. Hey, you know what? Mate Drummel, you got a good point. Maybe that chair was what was holding their whole organization together. And they knew that if they lost that chair, they would fall apart. So they had to get that chair.
Man, I had a room on Clubhouse, man, where we roasted the chair. We talked about nobody even cared about the chair. The chair died. Nobody cared. We having a funeral. Man, it was hilarious. But we just saw the poor chair.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I told Pastor this earlier. If you guys ever seen Bronx Tale, which favorite movie pretty much, there's a scene in the beginning and the two guys, it appears like it's over a parking spot and the guy shoots the guy and it kind of sets up the whole movie. And then later on with C, he's older, he asks Sonny, he says, did you really shoot that man over a parking spot? He says, no. When you're older, you understand. That's what's going on. They're not really fighting over it. We all know it. We're just having fun here. It's about so much more than that chair. Just like it's not just that parking spot. And unless you guys fix yourself, and by fix yourself, leave the organization and become a Christian who actually follows Christ with all this extra nonsense, it's going to happen again, guys. And we're not happy about that because we don't need any more chaos on our streets. So you guys want to give a final word? Because I'm gonna open this up now and let people take some. I'm gonna take some calls. I got JT Mack already lined up. I'm gonna let people sound off their opinion. So go ahead, gentlemen.
Go right ahead.
All right. Well, let's see. Okay, let me flip this around here. Let's see. Let me see how this is gonna work. All right, JT Mack, bringing you up. You are in the room with us. I'm turning up your volume. I'm gonna have to. You're real low. I got your fan, but I don't have you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I need you to drop it low. The camera, not like that kind of. The camera. Can you drop it low?
Oh yeah. Well,
There,
I'm like
there you go, Pat. There you go, bro.
ready for bed, so I'm kind of like dodging the camera. So if that's okay. But
Okay,
I got my Bluetooth. I got my Bluetooth headset on. So anyway, how you doing this evening, brothers?
Bless you.
Watched that earlier on Berean TV, of course, and then we were just discussing that. And I'm originally from St. Louis, so moved to the West Coast last year. Got friends in Kansas City. Got a brother in there who's familiar with that corner as well. When I say brother, I'm talking about brother in the faith, by the way. And so we were talking about this, and my whole reaction, even initially, was keeping it 100%. Okay, there are some tensions, there are some highs. They supposed to be brothers in Israel, but we can forget about all that. There's some beef for whatever reason. They got the shoving and pushing each other over chair, and tensions were high. They held them down. But my problem, for real, vocab, is after they held those guys down, instead of saying, okay, you guys are calm now, we're all going to walk away, we're going to all walk away, they called the police and held the dudes there till the police got there and helped them cuff them. Now, these are supposed to be their quote-unquote brothers in Israel.
Right.
What in the world? Aren't these matters supposed to be handled within quote unquote the kingdom, just like Paul was talking about, these matters can be handled. Let's say a fight broke out in church against two members or someone in leadership and a member, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they break it, and the fight's breaking up, everybody calms down, and then nobody's seriously injured, nobody's shot or stabbed, but somebody's called the police and have one of the members arrested. I just wouldn't think that wouldn't go over well. And I'm wondering if the black community, because this is where these folk normally go to. I wonder if the black community as a whole is going to look at this differently and hold them accountable for their behavior. I'm talking about the IUIC, and hold them accountable for their behavior, meaning their hood pass kind of gets revoked, if y'all know what I'm saying.
For what?
For being for basically snitching, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know if that's
really the people that were subdued. They were the physical aggressors, from my point of view.
And I don't disagree.
If they had not subdued them, it would have been a lot worse than what it was.
I'm not.
Fight them.
I don't. Yeah. I don't have a problem with the subduing. I have a problem with turning them over to the cops. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, see, they didn't turn them over to the cops. They just held them there. The cops put them in cuffs. They let them go. They didn't go to jail. But these people are aggressive. And if they had not held them down, it is my opinion that they would have fought them more. So I don't see how this is snitching.
What about you, Pastor? Well, let me get Pastor Leonard's opinion, because Faithful to God says, "Who do you believe provoked it?" My view is I wasn't there though, so I see more fault on IUIC side. But Pastor Leonard, I'd love to hear what you guys say.
From knowing how it's how the dynamics of both groups function here on that corner, and I'm looking at it as IUIC came for a fight.
Right.
I'm looking at them as those guys came for a fight because they knew that the ISUPK was going to be there. They knew that because the ISUPK is there every Saturday.
Right.
And by them knowing that they're going to be there, they was ready for the altercation. They were there in numbers. They was really close to the ISUPK, their group. They had the speaker turned toward them, antagonizing them, and they had put their cooler in their little space around there. So now, now when they did that, now granted, I can say that ISUPK, they kind of like provoked the fight.
Right.
Because of the chair wasn't getting converted as fast enough to which side they want to convert the chair to. The conversion of the chair wasn't getting converted. So by touching the chair, that started the fight. But to answer the question to my dear brother Faithful, I'm believing that because the IUIC came with an agenda,
right,
they provoked it with their agenda, but the physical altercation came with when the chair got touched.
Well, I do like, hearing different perspectives, and that's exactly what I wanted to do tonight, because we've already heard a number of different views, and that's all right. We want to hear these out. We got another guy coming in. Lenny, you got to unmute yourself. I'll bring you on. Say what, brother?
What Pastor McKenzie said, they attacked, well, I won't say attacked, on Mother's Day. One of my other
you're talking
friends,
about the Blitz. You talking about the Blitz now.
Yeah, they went to his church on Mother's Day with this madness. IUIC did. Yeah. And I called my pastor because I was concerned because a lot of churches around here don't have answers for these people. But when I called, the brother said, well, we are well versed and we shut them down. And in fact, the guy was saying they was a little bit intimidated because they did have answers. But yeah, IUIC is not an innocent group.
No,
because they did this on Mother's Day. You know it's Mother's Day. Why would you do that?
That is why they do it, though. I was talking to one of the Hebrew Israelites today online, and he said, "Vocab, you sound like my wicked grandma." I said, "Bro, what kind of dude calls his grandma wicked? I mean, unless your grandma's like leading a vast criminal enterprise or something. Like what? What? This is what it turns these guys into." And I know right now, someone will be like, "Vocab, haven't you read the scripture? Jesus came to bring a sword, division." They use that every cult. Just so you know, IUIC, every cult uses that scripture to separate families. That's not Jesus saying. He's not saying I'm gonna put this cult leader in front of you. Okay, but that's what they use that as an excuse. So yeah, you're right. In fact, last summer I had went out to Kansas City and spoke at a church there, and part of the reason was because of these blitzes, and so they wanted me to come and talk to them. So I did talk to a church, and there in KC, I was there last summer. I told the pastor before, and I went and got some great barbecue. Okay, Lenny, let's get your perspective, sir, and then I bring on Dunamis next. Go ahead, Lenny.
Well, I don't know. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you sound great, man. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Brothers in the chat. Hey, my brothers, man, we was out there before. I was out there with y'all. I was one of the Israelites that was by myself, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember me now, huh? Yeah. So,
I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah. So, this is my city. This is our city, rather. The love, I don't really got much to say. First of all, let me state this because we live, right? I do not agree with any camp whatsoever, right? Because one thing that camps do that I don't agree with, other than having a different doctrine, is they tell you what you can and can't do. They identify what you can and can't read, right? That limits your understanding of what you can get from books, right? They don't use certain things. And then on top of what the brother was saying, that's to the left of me on the screen, is that they will look at certain scriptures and say that don't mean that, or this is what it means, and they'll tell their prospects that, right? And as far as sheer numbers are concerned, IUIC literally has more sheer numbers across the worldwide than anybody else. So why would they dare trying to literally strong arm somebody when they know they don't need to? Is beyond me. But to be brothers in the faith is kind of make you look kind of like as y'all been already saying, you got Crips and Bloods fighting over some territory or over trying to gather prospects that don't look right, right? It don't look right for anybody inside the faith, whether you be a Christian, a Jew, an Israelite, or I mean, most Israelites gonna identify them as being the original Jews, but it just don't look right, right? And so to the pastor above me, anytime we go out there and we going against doctrine, we have to do it in the way Christ told us to do it. Now, anybody who identifying themselves as to be an Israelite, that's what Christ would have been. And so you need to walk towards Christ. And that's the way Christians do as well. Now, our doctrine may be different, but as y'all already said before, we need to reason with the scriptures. And I'm only here in this chat only because I called Dickie earlier, and Dickie actually posted this chat in my messages. So I really just wanted to get to the bottom of the understanding of, like, first of all, I don't like that type of stuff that goes on. We look bad as a I don't like to call it religion. Rather, we're gonna call it a heritage as being Hebrew Israelites, or as being in that faith-based tree, we're gonna call it a faith. What do we do from here, right? Not across the world, but just in our city, right? Kansas City, Missouri, 31st and Prospect, sitting right in front of both of y'all there. Both of y'all there, right across. We prayed at Popeyes. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody else in the chat probably don't know. But what do? I'm tired of this, because believe it or not, they didn't go to jail. So what you think gonna happen next? What do we do? How do we become and be the followers of Christ, showing the love to the world from Kansas City from this point on?
Is that a question or a comment?
A question. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Well, I know I'm not from Kansas City, but you're not going to find it in these camps.
Which is fine. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, what do we do as, I guess, the leaders here inside the chat? I wouldn't say just me, because I work all the time. So, like, I would have probably been out there if I would have skipped out on a Saturday, like I was with the brothers the other night. And I'm going to tell you, it's got to be the will of the Most High, or the acts of Christ, that brought me to the pastor that's right above me. And everything that they were saying, I was against, and me and the pastor was together. So to hold hands with what they would identify as a Christian, and I'm a Hebrew, and I'm wearing my fringes, and they tell me I can't wear my fringes, and then IUIC, they wear their fringes, and they tell people that they have to. So it's like it's a big Armageddon happening. But yeah, I was holding hands with a brother that they wouldn't hold hands with.
Well, one thing I can say is the library got the ball started, got the ball rolling. Because, like I said earlier, that this morning I took my entire service to the library. We preached and sang and did service there. But we went to the corner. Then the security guard came out and told us that the higher up said that they're not allowing anyone to preach or teach on that particular corner anymore. Well, I'm believing that they chose that corner because it has shade. It has shade, and it has a little more room in that corner than the other rooms. I mean, in the other corner. Now they have to find another corner to go to. Now, I don't see no other corner that will give them that type of surrounding. Yeah, that type of surrounding in the city, but that corner. So now the library got the ball rolling. It's up to us to continuously go out and try to debunk or to deprogram what those who have been programmed out there. Like I was telling a good brother here, I was saying that the blight of that particular part of the community has mental issues, and they're falling in line with doctrine that sounds good to them. If I don't have no heritage, and you tell me that this is my heritage, but don't prove it to me, but show me pictures and say this is who you are, well, then me already having mental issues will follow that. Now you have me with unstable mental issues following you. Now I'm going to create issues and problems against those who are against you. So now we need to keep going out there. We ain't got to be on that same corner. I'm going to keep going out there. I'm going out there and bring a different message than they were bringing, because the message that I was bringing, that we bring, is different. It's proven, because I want to tell you this here. I want to make a confession. It was my fault the fight started.
Oh, is that right?
It was my fault the fight started. Why? Because the anointing on my life. when the real comes into the light, that the fight has to pick up. Because just like every other time I go and talk to those guys, it doesn't they get agitated within their spirit, and they come against me in their spirit. So I believe that because I went over there across the street, all that chaos ensued because I was, I was over there. My presence was over there.
Angel of chaos. All right, Lenny, we're going to get the next gentleman. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that. Shout out to KC. Got some great KC folks in the house. What's up, Dunamis? How you doing? Sounds like you was already on with Brian today. I heard he talked about this.
Yeah.
But what's your perspective?
Yeah.
What's your perspective
Grace and
on
peace.
this? Yes,
it's a sad moment. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You got this.
Yeah. It's a sad moment, because all the time they'll say, your neighbor in the New Testament, some another Israelite, turn the other cheek, some other fellow Israelite,
stomp the
all
other
that kind of stuff. And right, exactly. And now it's like, that don't mean nothing. All this time, the Christian church, y'all got 40,000 denomination. There's a church on every block. The way they going, there's going to be a camp in every corner.
Come on
in
now.
every major city. So what's going to happen? So it's like they develop into the stuff that they talk bad about all this time, and they're not seeing it. Because they're supposed to be my Israelite brother. We should have put down our arms, come together, and speak the truth to awaken the people. But that don't seem at the point. A brother earlier in the chat, another chat said they might be out there to panhandle. I don't know if they get donations on that corner too. So it might be that's a good moneymaker. Folks putting money in the pot, so
they don't take any donations.
Usually,
just
ISUPK
making sure.
Well, here's what I've seen. I don't know about a KC. IUIC usually does not have a donation bucket of any kind. ISUPK almost always does. Every time I've seen, they didn't. Okay, and I believe you. I'm just saying, every UPK camp I've seen have a little donation box, and sometimes they'll give away like some jeans or clothes. They'll have like a box of clothes that usually aren't folded, and they'll have a place where people can get maybe a couple pants or something, and then they'll have a little donation box. But
so that's okay. That's the case. But it's just there needs to be more to be done into what the pastor was saying earlier with mental health, especially in those areas when you have folks hearing voices or things going on. You kind of don't want to feed into delusions if you don't have adequate information or just visions. So now, what's to stop them from having another vision of prophecy and then going down another path? And it doesn't create an atmosphere to where it can be controlled. But I just feel like us as a body, we just have to step up more and take this head on. I commend y'all for going out there for doing your things in Kansas City.
Thanks, bro.
All right.
No doubt, Dunamis. Keep on holding it down, Dunamis. Dunamis makes the rounds, always got some vital stuff to say. Okay, anybody else want to jump on, talk to these gentlemen, eyewitnesses? We got Pastor Holloway coming in, and let's throw him on. Guest 3, you are now here. Go ahead, Pastor Holloway.
Dickie, what's up, man?
We pretty much got all of Kansas City in the live chat. Go ahead, though, Pastor Holloway. We can hear you. We can hear you because we heard some music.
We can hear you.
Go ahead. Oh, you can't hear us.
Can you hear us?
Oh, I guess he can't hear us. Well, we'll just wait till he can figure that out. I mean, you got all that tech there. You got to be able to figure out how to hear us, bro. I'm just saying.
One of the things that I took from this fight, bro, is like I've been going back and forth with the Hebrew Israelites on Clubhouse for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into the spat with the young man over this, I got a little animated. And then I thought about our exchange of words. He threatened me. And I didn't threaten him back directly, but I had to listen to my thoughts afterwards. And I said, you know what? It's time for me to change my posture because I'm getting in the flesh. So I'm not having debates with them about who they are and all this stuff anymore. It's not fruitful for me, and I think that by letting my curtain down, so to speak, I'm not gonna be in contention with Tazoriart, Kadazai, Gadal, and whoever else anymore. I'm done. Yeah, it's if we want to talk about something else, okay. If you want to be a Hebrew Israelite, okay. But I'm not going to be having that discussion with them anymore because it's just pointless. 3 years, man, and I had a guy tell me, listen, vocab. I had a guy tell me Adam and Eve were trees.
Oh, that's funny. So you've got an old One West breakdown. So when I first heard that, I thought, oh, that's just that one guy's thing. Apparently, that breakdown goes all the way back to the old school. And
Okay.
the way they do it, apparently, their primary reason to do it is to avoid the idea that we're all Adamites, because then we would be related in some very meaningful sense, like the Bible says we are. Everybody should look up Acts 17, where Paul says he made all flesh from one blood or one man. That's just one verse. There's plenty. And he's talking to Stoics and Epicureans. He's talking to Greeks. He's not talking to Jews there. The text says it. It's in Athens. So they're trying to get away from that by making Adam and Eve essentially proto-Israelites, like the progenitors for this pure bloodline that will become Israel. And then essentially, and I haven't had it fully explained to me, but I think then essentially other people groups also have their like Adam and Eve's. And so they say that the trees in the garden are actually people groups. And they'll give justification by saying things like, well, remember when Jesus was healing a guy and he said, I see people walking around as trees?
That's what he told me. That's the exact
Can y'all hear
doctrine that
me?
he used. Yeah, we can hear
Pastor
you.
Holloway, we can hear you now. Go ahead. What you got?
What's going on, everybody?
You
What's
brother.
up with it?
That's the brother. That's the other brother that rolls with us.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was getting ready to make some beats, get my therapy in and stuff.
So were you out there
Yeah,
for
I can hear
this?
y'all, but very little. So just give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Well.
Huh?
We can hear you.
We can hear you fine. Yeah, we can hear you fine. So my thought about this is that I don't think IUIC is going to feel chastised at all. Meaning, even though a lot of Hebrew Israelites are upset at them and mad at them, and even though obviously UPK is upset at mad, I don't think they're going to care about any of that. To me, I think they're going to see this as vindication that they're the largest group, they're trained the best, and honestly, they won't maybe say this, but they can basically do whatever they want now because they have the numbers. So I think this is actually going to be a source of pride for them, that they're going to take like almost a victory lap from this. This is my speculation prediction about IUIC's sort of internal attitude that I believe will manifest itself to a certain extent. But if people are expecting apologies from IUIC, it's going to be the opposite. They're going to do a whole video about, you got to understand the background and the context, and if you analyze the footage, look, the brothers showed amazing restraint. Give it up for let's promote that brother that was in charge of it. They're going to do that. Almost guarantee it's going to be that kind of thing. ISUPK probably will talk a lot of trash for the next week, and then it'll whimper out on Saturday. Because I think at the end of the day, they know that there's way more purple and gold than there is guys in black boots. And so I think they're going to kind of realize that and kind of do what they got to do to keep on going around and not really try to take it to the next. And I honestly hope they don't, because I know that a lot of the ISUPK groups they carry You don't want to have a situation where you have one group that's armed and the other is not, and you definitely probably even worse, where both groups would be armed.
Am I froze now?
Nah, we can hear you. You just can't hear us, so I don't know what we can do for you, bro, because we can all hear each other and we're loud. You got something else going on there, but we're all good. Well, it's nice to see nice to see his face, but we can't do nothing with the guy who can't talk to us, my man. Anybody else wanna call in and talk about this? That's sort of my prediction, and I want to play a little more footage while I wait my man to get up his camera. Shout out to everybody, because not everyone has actually still seen this. So let me see what this is gonna do if I choose to play this. I'm gonna play some of the clips here, and we have seen some of it. We definitely have seen some of it, but let me see what else we got going on here. And I played the longest clip, but I'm just going to play some shorter clips now. Okay, here we go right here. This one's 1 minute and 30. This is kind of like a highlight reel that I put together from pastor's footage. So let's check this out. Oh, come on. It's not showing.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you fine. Yes, we can hear you fine. But it seems like you're not able to hear us.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. I know this guy's your friend, but I'm probably going to drop him off.
Fight against Israelite. Check it out.
What you say about that? Now them sissies gotta pack up and leave. You better not move. You better not move. You better not move. I got police.
Y'all ain't did nothing wrong. They could have just left.
Y'all ain't did a motherfucking thing wrong.
Come on, man. Don't.
Y'all guys people. We need
I know. He needs to chill out.
We all got. Man, what they do wrong? I want to know what they did wrong.
It's a camera.
Yeah, y'all get on that. Y'all, they getting handcuffed and they was just trying to get their chair. They was trying to get their chair and they getting handcuffed. Yeah, it's on camera, bro. Oh my goodness. They walking away. They the ones jumped on them. They jumped on them, bro.
They started doing their chants. This is so bizarre. First of all, you had this Royal Rumble, and then IUIC lines up and starts chanting in the middle of this chaos. This is just so bizarre.
Yeah.
They were up here just communicating. They was up here going back and forth in words. Then it broke out into a physical altercation. But it ended up being an Israelite fight. They physically had a fight with each other, had to call the police, and I had nothing to do with it. I was just here to fix. They were up here just communicating. They was up here going back and forth in words. Then it broke out into a physical altercation. But it ended up being an Israelite fight. They physically had a fight with each other, had to call the police, and I had nothing to do with it. I was just here to fix.
We got Kayam Myers.
Yo.
Come in. Pastor Holloway, we can hear you. What's up? Can you hear us? No, okay. He still can't hear us, I guess. We can hear you fine, man, but if you can't hear us, I just can't do. You got to get it set up before you call in, you know? Okay. He still can't hear you, bro. All right, so you also put some pictures. It looks like you took some screenshots, like some still images. I'm going to share a couple of those. I thought that was interesting.
I wish you had my there, man, so you could hear with the music under it. It's hilarious.
I do too. Although, since it's copyrighted, it may cause a problem for the show later on. So there was how many cops were there? That's a lot.
I put the disclaimer, the fair use thing, and that whole ball of wax.
Yeah, I got you. How many cops do you guys think came?
That was probably about 12, 15, somewhere from there. There were some that I didn't get.
So technically, IUIC outnumbered the cops, though, still.
Still, yeah.
Yes.
But then again, they're pretty much the same organization. All right, so they lined them up, and so you know these three gentlemen, or at least one of them, or what?
There's Goodall right there with the crown on, with the haircut. The last time we at him was because Leviticus 19 and 20 says you're not supposed to cut your hair. So we was asking him on camera, why cut your hair? You following the law, right?
Oh boy. Oh,
well, here's
boy.
the thing that's fascinating to me is when the police is called to other emergencies, those many don't show up.
Nah, yeah, definitely not.
But why did so many show up for this?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like IUIC got the cops on speed dial. And you know,
That's what somebody said.
Yeah, remember in Batman, the 66 Batman, there was a red phone. And whenever that red phone would ring, they knew it was like the city calling with a problem. They would have to get it real quick. I feel like there's a red phone in the police station. Oh no, a purple phone. There's a purple phone in the police station, and when they see that purple phone lighting up, they're like, "Oh, we gotta go. That's our guys." You know, because they it looks like they was there fast and they was there deep. Man, oh man! And so you took these screenshots from your video. It looks like. I wonder if anyone got any pictures, like straight up pictures. You know, like without the commentary and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I didn't take those screenshots.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know who did, but
isn't it on your page? It was on your page though. This is where I got these from.
Oh, well, I guess somebody. Well,
I don't know. I thought it was from maybe they tagged you, and they took them. And
okay,
maybe
they
that's
tagged
what happened.
me.
Yeah, that might show up on your page. But this picture right here is crazy. Everyone, look at this image that's on the screen. He's literally holding. It's not just him. There's multiple IUIC guys holding ISUPK down for the police. Like, yo, this is crazy, man. This is.
Now,
yeah, well,
I can guarantee you one thing.
Yeah.
That when they edit their footage on their cameras, they will not show that he got handcuffed by an Edomite. Edomite woman.
Yeah, Edomite.
as they want to call them.
Yeah, they got a Edomite cop out there, handcuffed Israelite men. All because of IUIC. Cut that out. Yeah. And you got some interesting comments on this. I mean, they whole laying on this man. This is, you know what, man? We might need to organize some protests over this treatment. It's a new, you know what I'm saying? It's a new phrase, IUIC brutality. I'm just saying, as somebody told you, great camera work. They doing illegal chokeholds and all, but they here to help. Your live chat was running wild with this, man.
That's hilarious, man.
He ain't lying
either.
That
was my son that said great camera work.
Oh, that's your okay. Shout out to
that's my son.
So Erica was watching and says the purple dude attacked first. So there's multiple opinions about that element. But look at this scene. Look at this scene. I mean, this man got his knee all on this man's wrist.
Is his head busted? Is that blood?
Yeah, all four.
Oh no, I think that's his glasses.
What? All four of the ISUPK were bleeding.
Yeah. Wait, are you serious? Wait, what?
Yes.
What? Hold on, let me look at you because I got these pictures over my face. Okay, I didn't know nothing about this. Hey, where did the pastor go? He just disappeared. I didn't knock him off. I don't know what happened. Wait. You're saying all four of the UPK members were bleeding from this altercation?
Yes, they were all bleeding. Yes. In the face.
In the face?
Yes. Like they were like they had gotten scratched, which they did.
Hey, IUIC, trim your nails.
Yeah. I wanted to get closer, but I didn't want to infringe on infringe on their territory, whatever you want to call it.
I know what it was. You didn't want IUIC to hold you down for the cops.
Now, one of the other IUIC came to me. You hear the footage. He came and said, "You want some of this? You were instigated at first. Now you want to be silent now." I said, "I ain't nothing to do with that."
Wait, IUIC said that to you. You want some of this?
Yes. He said, "You want some of this? You was instigating at first. Now you want to be quiet now." I'm like, "Brother, I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with that."
See, bro, what kind of mentality is that?
Mm-hmm.
What's some mentality with that? Like, I'm just saying, that ain't nothing of Christ. It ain't nothing of Jesus. It's just the same old street stuff. That's crazy.
And the one that said it to me was the one that called the police immediately.
Wow. It's almost like you're saying...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It's almost like you're saying, you want some of this? These cops we got on payroll? You know? But what are you going to say, bro? What are you going to say? What are you about to say?
I was saying, like, the same person, the same guy that asked me to say that to me, he was the one that called the police immediately. The guy right there.
Which one?
Glasses on.
You talking about the guy, bald head?
The tall one, the sitting up tall, that sits up tall.
Oh, so he's like the one kind of looking most directly at the camera?
Yes.
Also, he said you want some of this.
Almost like the one that was directing traffic, more or less.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the one that called the police.
Well, now we know who Captain Snitch is. Man, this is crazy, man. And then talking about you want some, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these images, y'all. Hey, I just want, to all the Israelites, who watch this, I want you to think about something. And don't think about how much you dislike me or the Christian church right now. Try to stop thinking about that for a second. You Hebrewites, let me ask you something. Be honest, please. This image that you see in front of your screen right now, I want you to think of the person on the ground being a Hebrew Israelite, like he is. It's an ISUPK member. But then instead of everyone being in purple and gold who's doing this activity, think of them all wearing blue with badges on. Here's what I'm saying. You want to defend IUIC. I want you to just think about how you would feel if this was the cops. If something like this happened to your camp and it was all cops doing this, you'd be out here, the persecution's begun. This is prophecy. Esau hates us. That's what you'd be saying. Especially you IUIC, like, sycophants that you'd be talking about. I'm just saying, like, just the image of what happened. I didn't know these guys were bleeding because I said no one got hurt, but you're saying they were bleeding.
Yes.
Man. Bro, who took a picture of that damn chair?
The chair that started it all.
And I want to know something, why doesn't that chair have cuffs on? Cited for disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, something. And the chair's black, so the chair just might be an Israelite. They're not going to like these jokes.
And I videotaped that to let people know, because I figured people would ask about the chair. Yeah. So let them know that the chair is okay. The chair is fine.
The chair didn't have any scratches? It wasn't
had no scratches on it.
Oh, so the chair made it out safe for the UPK guys. Okay.
Absolutely.
Look at this, man. These guys got no shame. I mean, if the man needed medical attention, and it looks like she was concerned, and it looks like they temporarily restrained her. So, I mean, they were like causing ruckus in the neighborhood, these folks. I know I heard people talking about hood pass revoked. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like, in a way, it's like cops. Like, nobody really, wants the cops rolling around the neighborhood for the most part. But you can't really revoke their hood pass because, yeah, they're not welcome, but what are you going to do about it, kind of? And what I'm saying is, I feel like it's like that with IUIC. Even if the neighborhood or who, there's like, man, we don't want you, what are you going to do about it? There's like 25 of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a crazy image. Yeah. This is a crazy image right here on your screen, everybody. And this was because IUIC called the cops. You know what I mean? That image you see on there, it's because that's courtesy of IUIC. That image is courtesy of IUIC. I don't know any other way to put it. Absolutely. Here's one more. This is, and so that's the captain that you know, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least you can have conversations with ISUPK. It sounds like you can have some decent conversations with them.
That's only because I didn't let them get to me.
Okay, well, I'm glad you didn't. Now, I didn't think this image was appropriate, but I didn't make it, so I'm just going to put it on the screen. I did not make this. I'm just curious what you guys' thought about this is. Somebody made this, man. Somebody made this, man.
Baby brew.
Yeah, somebody made it. It wasn't me. It's messed up. Don't blame me. Yeah, so I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I didn't do this, man, and I'm just saying, Okay, so there we go with that. Okay, let's take one more caller. We got one more caller wants to come in there and talk. Let me flip over here with this other screen. Well, Pastor Leonard, man, I really am glad you came in. And there's a lot more to say about this. We just don't necessarily have time because we wanted to talk to you guys and stuff. But to the live chat, a couple of years ago in Nashville, something similar happened. Now, it didn't escalate to that level. But what happened is there was some kind of fight about a preaching space. And it looked like they were in some kind of parking lot. It looked like I don't know. They could have had plenty of room, basically. But ISUPK, it was in Nashville, I believe, was arguing with IUIC over a space again. And IUIC, of course, calls the cops. And my reading of the video, meaning as I watched it and interpreted, was that basically the cops took IUIC's side again. And that's what it looked like to me anyway. So this kind of thing has happened before and even in recent memory. And that's not the only one. There's another one where you got this is going back farther, but you've got ISUPK confronting GMS. You have ICGJC versus groups. And then you don't have video and footage, but you have stories about other things that have happened in New York primarily before this thing was as well known. So this kind of thing has been happening between the camps. It's just now they're growing and it's more public. And so I just want everyone to know this is not exactly rare. This is a new low in this story as far as the camps with the fighting and stuff. But this has happened. And even though I'm mainly taking ISUPK's side in this to a certain extent, let me tell you something. I've seen lots of videos with ISUPK doing things like slapping off yarmulkes off of Jewish people, harassing people, throwing them down, especially when they're by themselves. There are videos out there of ISUPK doing that kind of stuff to people. Now, they would say, I guarantee you, if you ask them about each altercation, we were defending ourselves. We're defending ourselves. This is self-defense. Now, I've seen the videos. They're clearly not all self-defense. The thing is, ISUPK doesn't have the numbers to be able to do that to IUIC. And so the groups are going to have to reckon with this reality. And what are they going to do? You may not like it, but there's just a lot more of them. And what are you going to do about it? And the solution's not carnal, y'all. And I am afraid that these are going to just come up with carnal solutions, But there is a whole history to this, Pastor, this kind of behavior with the groups. And, I mean, how many religions have this kind of problem where they're literally having street fights amongst different congregations? That's not like a common problem amongst for real. I think I've got, let me see if I can find this one. I've got do you see any comments you want to respond to? Say what? Go ahead, bro.
if they planned to do that for Saturday,
Yeah.
they probably didn't plan on nobody else videotaping the outcome. Because they could have planned on going to antagonize ISUPK.
Right.
That could have been their plan, but their plan probably was because they had. I saw one guy had a body cam on.
Yeah.
And they had like 2 cameramen. I'm like, why do you have so many cameras going? Guy walking around with a camera. I'm like, why so many cameras going?
Right.
What are you trying to capture?
Well, they do roll that way a lot. You know, I have seen them do that kind of stuff a lot. But yeah, that's exactly right. I have another example. I'm trying to find it where I've got another example of let me see where I put this. This is from back in the day. Where I see they got the same kind of tactic that IUIC did, that they did with ISUPK, where they did it with a man who apparently was a gay guy, and he had approached them, and the gay guy didn't touch them or anything, but they did the same exact thing to him. It's on my Instagram. I'm trying to find it right now. Where did I put this thing? I'm having trouble finding it, but I was going to try to show everybody. I may not be able to pull this up. Oh, yeah, I did find it. Okay, I did find this. Let me see if I can. I'm going to show it on my phone first, just because I already have it on my phone. This is about a minute long. This is from an Instagram. So everyone watch this. This is an old IUIC video where did this happen? Where did I say? Okay, so everyone, I'm going to show a video. I'm going to try to bring it up on IG here in a second. This is IUIC with the same kind of behavior, and I want you to see how aggressive they are with this guy. Watch this, everybody. I'm turning this volume up all the way. Okay, here we go. You're not going to be able to totally see it, but you'll get the idea. All right, so that's an older one where you see the same kind of behavior. Yeah, that's with one guy. And he approached him, and I watched it. He did walk up to them, but he didn't touch them or nothing. They immediately did that and then did a whole routine. So they're like hyper paranoid about security, and so it makes them act hyper aggressively. They'll look at almost like anything as defense, like it's okay. Hey, San Miguel, you want to come in? Grab that link. I know you did a show on this earlier. I'd be down to talk to you if you got a second to come in. We have a former Hebrew Israelite pastor, Leonard, who was turned atheist, and I always tell him, hopefully that he doesn't end up that way. But he has interesting takes on this because the group he was in before ICGJC, they had one of these confrontations back in the day too. So if you can come in, San Miguel, go ahead. All right, I'm going to try to bring this up here. Let's see. I'm going to try to show this video like on the screen more. I'll probably end with that. Like I said, we got the live chat open, but so okay, I'm going to send this over to my phone, I'm going to show this. Well, this is a unique show because I know everyone's talking about this on the internet, but this is the first place I think you've been able to speak about it. So if people want to watch the original, unedited, raw footage, how do they find it on Facebook, Pastor Leonard?
They can go to my Facebook page, Leonard the Watchman McKenzie, on Facebook, or go to my YouTube, the Ezekiel Watchman channel.
Okay. Okay. There you go, everyone. So that's how you find the original raw footage from this. Okay, now I'm going to try to switch over and see if we can play this that I just played. It's not that great because I didn't really know what I was doing back in the day with screen recording and all that. So it's playing it from my phone while I was watching it on a computer type thing. Okay, so let's see if I can switch this and get this. Just give me a second here. Why isn't it working? Hold on. Just give me a second. I'm having a little video problem. Oh, really? Is it really gonna do that? I know you're getting tired. You've been hanging out with for a while, brother. All right, let's see if I can.
I'm good. I'm good.
Nigga, me out there 319. Fuck out my way, bitch. Put your hands on me.
I mean, watch this, everybody. So he does come up to them, the homosexual guy, but I don't see him like do hands or nothing like that. Like, watch this.
Nigga, me out there 319. Fuck out my way, bitch. Put your hands on me.
See, they pushed him first. I'm just showing this is a pattern of behavior with IUIC. Purple bullies who call the cops.
Fuck out my way, bitch. Put your hands on me. Leave down. Out there. Romans chapter 1 verse 2. I say 319. Out there. He don't want to take. He don't want to come grabbing me.
The IUIC takedown.
It's our time to come back to these laws. This is the most our God speaking. This man is mad because the laws of God are coming out.
And the dude on the mic is still yelling the whole time.
Notice the title. Dude's like the cops.
So look at the title. This may still be online. Can somebody see if this video still is online? IUIC puts LGBT black man in his place on the ground. I think that was a YouTube video. It may have been Instagram. I think it was a YouTube video. Can someone see if that title still exists? I don't know if this video still exists. This may be the only sad copy, but look at this. So that's the clip. But look, he's walking, says, "Get out of my way." Obviously, he's upset. But they push him and attack him first. I don't see the justification. This is how they frequently. You found it? It exists?
Yeah. It still exists.
Somebody download that video right away, please, because we need to get a clear copy and show this is a pattern behavior. I knew this had existed, and I didn't know where anymore. Someone download as high res as you can for me, one of my mods or something, and send that over before it gets taken down, because we want to show this pattern behavior they got. Watch this one more time, and I think that's a good place to end it. Yeah, if you
Fight against Israelite. Check it out.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. There we go. That's really what I want to show, and that's that. All right, Pastor, I think that's a good place to end. I appreciate your time so much tonight.
No problem. From looking at the original footage, because it's actually 12 minutes, he didn't provoke them at all. He was just talking, and he walked up on them, and they just like you said, they attacked him.
Yeah. So this is their pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
And I've told people I have been out on the street with almost every group that exists in some version, form, or fashion. Sakari probably has the most violent rhetoric, and they carry weapons at camp. GMS is not far behind, but they don't carry weapons. I say that as a preface to say this. Sakari has never laid hands on me. They've never even gotten my space. GMS has done that and said, "I'd like to do X, Y, Z to you." Now, I had the guy, famously story in Chicago, the guy walks up to me, says, "I would love to stab you in the throat right now." But, he indicated he wasn't going to do it right then, which I was thankful for. The only camp I've had put hands on me in various times is IUIC. Right. Two or three times. Now, I've never had the takedown situation. But multiple times, they will be aggressive. And when they do it, they do the same thing the cops do. You know, cops will say, he's going for my gun. Or cops will say, stop resisting when you're not resisting. IUIC will do the same thing. They'll say, don't assault me. And I'm like, I didn't touch you. They'll say stuff like that to you. They'll say, don't assault me, or don't invade my space, or stop following me, or stop. They'll say verbal things even though they're attacking you. And I've seen it firsthand because they did it to me. Now, like I said, they didn't do that. Mainly they pushed and shoved me. And then I tell the story about how the guy came and stood on top of he put his boots and he stood on top of me, so I was immobilized with my feet, stood on top of me, and another guy stood behind me, like a perfect jump type of thing. Somebody said, where's the proof? Of the pushing, them pushing me, I have proof of that. The other one is audio only. But, you know, Knuckle Game Brothers, I don't care if you don't believe me or not, honestly, because I don't whine about it. I'm not going to call the cops. But it's evidence they do stuff like this much worse than what they did to me. I'm just making the point. IUIC is actually, they try to be the professional middle class camp, but they're probably the most prone to violence on this side of things. With that, let's end. Thank you again, Pastor, for that footage. We owe a great deal to you. Yes, sir. All right, God bless. Peace out. Y'all have a good night.
Yes,
Shalom.
Sir.